Over the duration of my channel, I have answered many of the interesting questions anime onlys have about return by death. These are ways in which Subaru could utilize return by death to become stronger, or for example use return by death as an attack. There is however another question a lot of people ask about, using return by death to learn your opponent's attacks and then use it to win the fight. For those that don't understand, the idea is that Subaru will come across someone like Elsa, he will then fight her and lose. However, when he returns by death, he will essentially know what attack Elsa will do. Subaru will then essentially keep learning the order of attacks Elsa will do and eventually win the fight by constantly countering her attacks. Essentially Ultra Instinct Subaru, of dodging and then counter-attacking. At least, that's how it's supposed to work in theory, because in reality, this would never work out. To discuss this, I will need to dive into some spoilers, so these spoilers will be relating to Pride If, and also the Crimson Countess side story, which involves Al. So this is a spoiler warning. We learn from the Pride If story, the story in which Subaru does not call for help in the alleyway. This results in Reinhard not helping against the three thugs, and of course as a result of that he doesn't show up at the loot house. As a result, Subaru is alone and he constantly has to use return by death over and over again, using trial and error to solve Arc 1. We see however that Subaru can actually easily beat the three thugs, ironically proving that Subaru can use return by death to learn their fighting styles and then counter them, essentially becoming Ultra Instinct Subaru. However, we also see in the exact same stride that Subaru acknowledges he cannot beat Elsa in a fight, even with using return by death. The reason for this is very simple. Whilst return by death can help versus average opponents like the Three Stooges, where Subaru can react and fight back, it wouldn't work on anyone who is superhuman. So people like Garfiel and Elsa couldn't be beaten just by memorizing their attack patterns. We know, for example, in the Elsa vs Garfiel fight, that Elsa's attacks are faster than the speed of sound. Even if Subaru knows that an attack is coming, he wouldn't actually be able to physically dodge it, leading to a straight game over. Moving on to the Crimson Countess side story, there's actually a similar theme here with Aldebaran. If you haven't watched my Al's Powers Explained video, I highly recommend you check that video out first to know what I'm talking about. But anyways, let's move on. We see that Al's power to reset his territory during fights is something he actively uses to win fights versus stronger opponents, as seen in Shadows of Conspiracy and Declaration of War side stories. However, we see that it cannot simply be used to defeat all opponents. In Crimson Countess, Al acknowledges that he cannot be a gladiator called Hornet. The reason for this is very simple, because Hornet is way too strong for Aldebaran no matter what he does. Even when he tries and tries again by resetting his territory, he can never kill her or counter her effectively because she's simply too strong and too fast. So we can see that even by memorizing your opponent's moves or cheating like Aldebaran does, if the power difference is too large, you will simply lose the fight. So in summary, Subaru cannot use return by death to essentially become Ultra Instinct Subaru to dodge every attack and counter-attack to win fights, because Subaru's physical limitations stop him from matching up to strong characters even when he knows what attack they'll do. Hopefully that will clear up that return by death question. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching and thank you to my channel members.